Well, it's a great spring day in St. Louis if you're listening during spring right now. If you're catching this in winter, it's been a great spring day.
Yeah.
Welcome to St. Louis in Tune. This is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston, where we size up current and historic events involving people, places, and things in areas such as the arts, crime, education, employment, faith, finance, food, health, history, housing, humor, justice, and sports.
Wow.
We originate from and connect the Gateway City to our country's current cultural fabric and lives. We'd like to welcome Brad Kovac. He is helping to organize the Gateway Outdoor Expo, which is going to take place next week at the America Center. Brad, welcome to St. Louis in Tune.
Thank you.
All right, try that again, Brad. We got you kind of mumbled there.
You hear me? Can you hear me better now?
That's much better. There you go.
Okay. I will stand in this one spot and not move for the rest of the
Gosh, are you down at the America Center right now?
No, I'm actually in Ohio, so you've got a multi-state thing going on here.
Oh, wow.
Well, that explains it. Ohio. Okay.
Now, you are kind of in charge of Terrain Magazine, and first of all, explain Terrain Magazine, because Terrain Magazine is one of the large sponsors of this event.
Yeah, so Terrain Magazine is 8 years old. We're based in St. Louis. The mission is really pretty simple. It's to educate people in St. Louis and the surrounding area about all the outdoor activities and opportunities that they can take part in. So everything from running to biking to rock climbing, canoeing and kayaking, camping, hiking, all the stuff you can do in the area that maybe doesn't get shared by other media or talked about all that much. We try to dig in there and give people an idea of how to enjoy the outdoors.
And how often does that magazine come out?
We come out every other month.
And can people, is it a paid subscription? Is it something online, or how can people get a hold of that?
Right. It's both. We are always a free publication in print, distributed around town at about 200 different locations, mostly in sort of the outdoorsy stores. So, your shoe stores, your bike shops, your outfitters, but also in a lot of rec centers, some breweries, because our folks tend to congregate to breweries after they go outside and have their fun. In some restaurants around town. So there's a full list on our website if people wanted to see that. The website is terrain-mag, as in magazine.com. You can also subscribe if you want to get it in home, just so you don't miss an issue. Or you can go online and there's a digital edition of the magazine if you don't want to get the print edition, which I understand because some people are concerned about nature and trees and all that stuff. So the digital edition is also free via our website, and it's the same as the magazine, just in that, e-zine sort of flip book format.
That sounds great. Now, talk about the Gateway Outdoor Expo, which has been postponed the last couple of years because of COVID, and it also has a new location, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we took over the show. Terrain took over the show about 7 years ago, and this will be our fourth show. Thank you very much to COVID. We try to make it an annual event, but the last few years have been postponed just due to the need to be safe about public health. So yeah, this year we're bringing it back after the last couple years of having having gone dark, and moving it to America Center. So that's exciting for us. It's a bigger space. It's a more open space in terms of what you can do with it. There aren't any constrictions really there in terms of height requirements for exhibitors and that sort of stuff. So we'll have like a big tall climbing wall there. We'll have a lot of other demo activities that people can take part in on site. And then there's about 200 vendors that are doing other things. They're selling goods and services. They are educating the public on different races or events or places to go to enjoy the outdoors. So really it's kind of a place you can come and you can be active if you want and take part in some demos and whatnot, but you can also just learn about the outdoors and all the different things that you can do in our area, sort of like a big extension of the magazine, but in person, face-to-face, and a lot more fun because you can have food and drinks while you're there.
I bet you're really excited about just having the size of the America Center to be able to pull this off. You're expecting about 10,000 people, I understand.
Yes, exactly. It's really exciting for us. We're able to do things that we couldn't in other venues, such as we'll have adventure vehicles inside the convention center. So if you're one of those people who, looks at TikTok or Instagram or whatever, goes online and sees these great glamorous photos and videos of people out living off grid, doing all this crazy stuff out of their van, we'll have those vans there that you can come and crawl through. So, being in a place like America Center offers us that opportunity to have these larger vehicles and larger exhibits right there in the hall. And yeah, we expect about 10,000 people. We've partnered with Go Marathon, and their runners, their marathoners, half marathoners, and other participants are going to come through our show in order to pick up their materials for the race.
Fun.
So that's great because we can introduce the runners to other outdoor activities if they don't already know about them. And then it's also great for our vendors, of course, because they're getting a nice, big, qualified audience in there to talk to. So it works for everybody.
Yeah, the running, the half marathon and the marathon, and that's going to take place on the 2nd and the 3rd, a Saturday and a Sunday, downtown St. Louis. And that, I think it starts in Forest Park and then winds its way, depending upon how far you're going to be running.
Right.
It goes back downtown and then up the river and then back down. And, I'm just into marathon watching, I guess, rather than running. But
I know.
No, I understand. Yeah, it's they do a great job with the event, though. It's I think it's if I'm not mistaken, the largest marathon in town.
Wow.
And it's just well put together, and they're great to work with.
Now, I know families are welcome to this. Normally, on these kinds of activities, you would think you've got the adults, but what kind of activities are available for the kids as they show up?
Yeah, it's a family-friendly event for sure. If you can introduce kids to the outdoors and nature earlier in life, it's, no surprise that it's easier for them to then adapt and make that part of their life going forward. So we definitely want families to come down. I'd mention, too, just quickly, before I talk about activities, that it's a free event.
Yeah.
In previous years, it had been a ticketed event, but this year we took that away. So one of the main reasons, of course, so that families and kids and larger groups can come down and not have to worry about dropping money for tickets. They can just come in, have fun, use that money for something else. Right. In terms of activities, we'll have the rock climbing wall that I mentioned, and these are all available to kids and adults. We have a mountain bike demo course, so that is an opportunity for people to get on a mountain bike and ride around on some man-made obstacles, nothing crazy. We're going to keep the wheels on the ground, but still give people a chance to maybe go over some bumps and berms and little wood features and get an idea what mountain biking is like. And then, as I mentioned, we'll have the adventure vans and small RV trailers that people can dig in and check out. And then a lot of the vendors just kind of bring their own little activities. In previous years, there's been, things like cornhole. There's been pull-up bars that, if you do 5 pull-ups, you get a little prize. There's certainly a lot of coloring and arts and craft types of activities at some of the parks and nature booths. So just a lot of stuff that kids can get into and get some hands-on while also learning about the lifestyle and the activities.
And again, there's over 200 booths. Is that right? Is that about 200 booths or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're right at 200.
That's a lot of booths.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And I'm looking at this climbing wall, 23 feet tall.
I'm not going to be your belay.
You're not going to spot me?
No. When I used to do climbing when I was a Boy Scout, and we'd have the little scouts be my belay. I'm going, are you kidding me? If I fall off, those kids are going with me. They're going up, I'm going down. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry, Brian. I do this.
No, I said you're just fine. I
know.
Get it.
You do it? I know. And it's like, go ahead, Mark, jump off that wall. You're all right. They've got you. No, they don't. I'm too fat.
Just to clarify for folks, it's going to be safe down there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, we should clarify.
So that particular wall, I did just a little funny anecdote on what you guys are saying. We had it has an auto belay on it, so it's automated. They don't have a person holding you. But we had a person a couple years ago go up to the top, and he didn't jump, but he just let loose to come back down.
Yeah.
And the horrified look on the faces of some of the other people there who didn't know it was an auto belay, you would have thought this guy was going to fall 23 feet to his death. Yeah. It was hilarious.
I like those auto belays too. They are great. I've used those before too. Those are great. But it's hard for me to climb now. It's the extra pounds. Never kicking my belly up on that wall. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Legs.
I know.
Now, one fact that I really didn't know, which I think is outstanding for you guys and speaks well of you and Terrain Magazine, is the Gateway Outdoor Expo is the oldest and largest outdoor recreation and adventure sports show in the greater St. Louis area. And when was this formed again?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I said, we took it over about 7 years ago. The show itself has existed for going on 20 years, and it's kind of moved around to some different organizations who have managed it. TrailNet had it for a while, if you're familiar with that nonprofit group in town. St. Louis Bike Works had it for a while. So it's kind of migrated, and then we grabbed it when we could 7 years ago, and have kind of moved it from. It used to be more of a bike-centric show, and then we introduced the other outdoor activities and sports just to kind of go along with our particular spectrum of activities. But it's been around a long time, and people have just followed it around, and we're happy that it's still going.
That it's great that happens, because what I see happening around the area, the more bike paths are being produced, they're being linked together. I know there's a big plan to do that. Right. Hiking's a really big deal in the area, and one of the things I saw on your site where you that you've done on a blog is you highlight some of the big areas around the metro area, and even within the state, where they can go, and kind of around like a multi-state area, because sometimes some of the best hiking may not be right around our area. It may be, down in southern Missouri or into Arkansas, things like that.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Yeah, we started, as I mentioned, based here in St. Louis, and we were very St. Louis-centric for the first few years. And then as we grew, as our audience grew, the bubble of our coverage just sort of grew with it. So, now we're happy to still be able to highlight things you can do in the metro. But there's fantastic places in the bordering states, and we've sort of grown to cover that area as well. So whether you're talking Illinois, Iowa, Arkansas is amazing. There's just so many places you can go, and it seems that our audience is happy to do that. They want to travel. They want to explore the metro area again, our great city and state, but then they do want to branch out and travel and see some of the other great stuff in the Midwest.
Now, Brad, speak to those folks who are in the metropolitan area who are like, I don't know, how do I get down there? There's the marathon's going to be going on. Parking might be an issue. Talk to people about that and encourage them about that.
Yeah, one thing I would mention is that the show opens on Friday morning to the public, so that's a little different. Most expos are going to open on Saturday and Sunday. Ours is open all day Friday. So obviously that can be an inconvenience for folks who are working. But if you can get away, if you can get out at lunch, maybe come on down. The show will probably be less crowded that day. The vendors will be excited to talk to you. We'll have the time to talk to you. They'll probably still have all the goodies to give away on Friday. So if you can make it down on Friday, I would say that's the day to do it. You can take the metro. I forget what the closest station is, but that's part of the reason why we wanted to be at America Center, is to make public transportation easier. Good. So you can certainly do that if you're worried about parking or traffic or anything. Right. You can certainly park in any of the lots around America Center, and there's plenty of them there. If you come on Saturday, same thing. Maybe think about public transportation, or come down early in the morning or later in the evening. And again, that's always with any show. Those are always the great times to kind of get the best pick at the products and services, or maybe at the end of the expo, you get a lot of those great deals because vendors don't want to take home all their stuff. So suddenly that $20 item becomes a $10 item, and you walk out with a great haul of stuff. So, just things to think about as you're going to come down. We've
been talking to Brad Kovac. He is heading up the Gateway Outdoor Expo, April 1 and 2 at the America Center, downtown St. Louis. Brad, thanks for coming on St. Louis in Tune and giving us this information. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me.